And welcome to another CIRF report, this one for May 8th and May 9th, 2019. Oh gosh, I am so thankful for all of the support and the feedback. Keep the feedback coming because we can continuously improve not just the format, but our accuracy levels, readability, everything else. Watch this. We have a new slide to introduce the CIRF report. Today's themes are surrounding like helping and needs and connection. So human connectedness is kind of the overall theme. And the influences that you're going to see today by far going to be the moon and Venus. Not necessarily together, as you'll see, and then hexagrams from the I-Ching 27 and 42. My eyes popped wide open when I saw these. And then the solution, we're going to look towards Venus. All right, next slide. We're going to go into the DreamBot. If you haven't seen what the DreamBot is or don't know what it is, then hit the beginner's guide down below. We're looking at the three memes here of help and needs, starting with like hospital, for example, and give and tell, and needs, just human needs. Then we have human connectedness in the blue arrows. The word humans, and even anonymous, so kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, but giving and hugging and the word mutual on there. So very much about connectedness, not necessarily relationships, but very much relationship oriented, if you will. And then kind of an outlier here is the orange meme with invasion upheaval. Invasion upheaval almost could mean like the fire signs, like Mars, Aries, any one of the fire signs in the zodiac. And then upheaval could mean something like Uranus, Pluto, that kind of thing. So let's go check it out. And here is our first little surprise with the mouse. Check this out. So now I can highlight what I'm talking about a little bit easier, and hopefully you can see where we're pointing. So this is the 8th. This is going to be, Wednesday, the 8th, and we're going to wake up to a face full of Uranus conjunct Mercury. Now, we talked about this last time, and those two were approaching, and now we're going exact and at 9:19 in the morning Central Time. And then shortly thereafter, 10 a.m. is going to be the moon hitting both of those with a sextile. So we're getting like double the energy or double the attention, double the influence here. And so we're going to take a look at hexagram 27 here in a second. But later in the evening, the sun's going to make a sextile to Neptune in tropical Pisces. That's going to be commensurate with a little factor later. So let's see what 27, the I-Ching 27, it's called Providing Nourishment. Interesting, especially from like Uranus and Mercury. Uranus and Mercury, by the way, I didn't explain that. The Uranus being all about change and Mercury being all about thinking and communication and expression. So we're expressing a lot of change. And you're going to hear it in people's voices. You're going to see it in their behaviors and in their cognition. So what does the I-Ching say about hexagram 27? This is the hexagram where this conjunction resides. So pay heed to the providing of nourishment and to what a man seeks to fill his own mouth with. Now, what I find interesting, that was directly from the Book of Changes, is Mercury is representative of the mouth. Well, I mean, also the brain and the thinking, but we express through the mouth. And so there is a form of nourishment, as some other people have hypothesized. But in essence, we need to attend to self and others' needs and nourishment in all spheres of life, not just food. Like nourishment, we think of vitamins and minerals and food and intake and amount of water that you consume. But we're talking about spiritual. We're talking about emotional connectedness. We're talking about the physical body as well as the emotional and mental. well-being. Okay, so it's all that, providing nourishment across all those spheres. All right, now let's go look at Thursday. We are seeing all of these aspects play out in the middle of the day. So starting with the moon, progressing into Cancer, tropical Cancer, over the North Node, which is kind of looking into the future, making a sextile to the Sun, making a trine to Neptune. We have Venus on the other side, about the same time, starting its trine, going exact with Jupiter. And then the Venus, just 19 minutes later-ish, makes a square to Pluto. So there's a whole lot going on in the sky, but we're going to focus in on this Venus aspect. The Venus getting double the hits here, and it's all about help and needs, human connectedness, right? Remember, this kind of the relationship. So Venus stars in this human connectedness thing, but also Jupiter. Jupiter is about relationships too. I mean, nothing like the close and romantic relationships of Venus, but Jupiter is your orientation to other people in the world at large, and the fortunes and your fate and all that. So that's there, and that's in a trine, and they're both in tropical fire signs, Aries and Sagittarius. So that's very interesting. So it's kind of like this invasion kind of theme. There's a lot of strong yang energy associated with these fire signs. And so with the relationships, that could pose some problems. But let's look at the next day before we get into in depth in this. I'm sorry, and this is not the next day. This is just in the afternoon. There was so much going on. I broke it out into two different slides. This is still Thursday the 9th, and the moon, as it progresses through Cancer, tropical Cancer, it's going to make an opposition with both Saturn and Pluto, and that's going to be in the afternoon, evening time frame. All right, but still, okay, so first of all, I want to point out that Cancer, tropical Cancer, is the influence, and that is the help and the needs. So there's you've got the A meme from the DreamBot here, and then you have both A and B, so human connectedness and helping and needs with Venus and Jupiter. So the next thing we're going to do is look at hexagram 42, because that's where Venus is. There's strong energy coming from there. There's two hits there. So hexagram 42 is about increase. That makes sense with these two fire signs, right? Hexagram 42, substantial progress and prosperity flow to those who keep others in mind. Wow, mind blown. We have two of our main hexagrams today are talking about the same things that the DreamBot is. I mean, it is incredible. And now, I guess what I didn't talk about before. All right, I'm mixing things up here. I was thinking about, oh crap, I didn't talk about upheaval. Well, that's Uranus. I'm sorry, but that's how my mind works. It's like all over the place. Well, I mean, we are with Mercury and Uranus. I'm all over the place. So, all right, let's get back to hexagram 42. Sorry about that. Substantial progress and prosperity for those who keep others in mind. Now, here's directly out of the Book of Changes, the image of increase. Thus, the superior man, if he sees good, he imitates it. If he sees faults, he rids himself of them. This ethical change represents the most important increase of the personality. That's according to the Book of Changes in the I-Ching. All right, so in short, you are going to prosper in the next few days when you keep others in mind, according to hexagram 42. All right, now the only other thing we need to do before we go into our solutions is just to quickly look. I think the biggest energy, because we have all of our memes here, other than the upheaval, but we have two of the main memes here with Venus. Hexagram 42 is the closest thing that we have to the DreamBot, and it just happens to be in Sidereal Pisces. Now, Can Pisces help us in this manner? Abso-freaking-lutely. Pisces is the one that gives us connection to other people via the emotions. And so emotional connectedness, there's a book called Spiritual Anatomy of Emotion, which says that your connection or your gate into the spiritual world is through the emotions. And so Pisces is all about that. And you get the mystical side of things. You get the telepathy. You get the extra awareness. And so this extra awareness is going to translate into wealth because you're going to be able to be more aware of what other people really need. So let's go look now at our slides, and I'll highlight. So we have a man here. I assume this is a man, but he's got his hand out. And so this signifies someone in need, but this is not about just pitching money at all these problems. And I want everybody to know that it's about being connected at a deeper level with other people around you. It's human connectedness, but we need to expand our awareness. And that's the beauty of the Pisces, is expanding our awareness, not just of their suffering, but of their needs, but of the experiences that they're going through. Not that we have to embed ourselves in that, not that we have to change our behaviors at all, but that emotional understanding gives us the gift of connectedness. Now, to bring in all of the 3 themes from the DreamBot, we don't want to be intrusive with this. And you got to watch that with these fire signs and the trine between Venus and Jupiter. You're going to be overly anxious to get in there and solve problems. And really, we're helping them from a deeper level, from a soul level. What does the soul need? For addicts really just want money. Just give me money. And I'm teaching the support folks to give them emotional support and separate out the material side of things. So it's not necessarily just giving money. And that's going to be seen on the next slide for intervention. We're going to start to see wealth achieved only by giving, and emotional understanding is the highest form. That's what I was talking about before. But do not patronize or pitch money at people and then later resent them, or resent them as you're pitching the money to them. You're giving out of your heart. You're giving because you know that they're in need, and you're giving, and you're using the Pisces psychic energy to give them what they really need, what their soul really needs. All right. Even if it's just emotional support and understanding. All right. I hope that made a lot more sense. If you got any more feedback, I'm all ears. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you again on Thursday.